Real quick, did you watch any of the Royal Rumble and Ronda Rousey premiering last night? And her official, it's officially announced she got a multi-year WWE contract. And I don't like pro wrestling. I know we don't talk about pro wrestling on the show, but this is a big deal. This is the biggest star from mixed martial arts making the jump over to pro wrestling ever. Yes.
My headphones just fell off.
We saw.
Okay. All right, our pets' heads are falling off.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
Who's a bigger fighter that did it? I mean, Ken Shamrock back in the day, Dan Severn, but nobody it just wasn't that big.
Don't keep the camera off me for a second.
No, keep it on.
I think, to be honest, that one, you love talking about wrestling. Two, you love talking about Ronda Rousey.
It's relevant.
Three, I don't watch wrestling at all. What will I say about it? I saw a little clip on Facebook this morning. Good for her. I think it's fantastic. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, when fighters stop fighting, it's always hard to find what to do, especially because you get so used to the attention, to the limelight, to the lights, the cameras, the action, the money, of course. And she's still filming movies and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, I mean, seems like a good fit for WWE and going to make some money, I'm sure. I mean, I have no idea what kind of money they earn, but I'm sure I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, I'm sure she's making millions of dollars. I mean, the reality is the WWF or WWE, I'm so old. They have, you know, pretty deep pockets. And Rousey.
Do you like wrestling? Are you a wrestling fan?
No, not at all. I was when I was a kid. I got into MMA and UFC because I was a pro wrestling fan. The first promos for the UFC, they promoted it like it was like, you like pro wrestling? Well, wait till you see what we have. It's so extreme. And I was like, whoa, I'm like 10. It's like incredible to me, you know? But, you know, I grew up, I got into MMA, and everything that I liked about wrestling as a kid, I kind of have with MMA. And you know, we have personalities in MMA, and it's just, the stakes are real. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah, well, MMA's like, you start off like in WWE or wrestling. Let's just call it wrestling. Because I don't like saying WWE either. It just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't flow.
Yeah, WWF is what I got into, World Wrestling Federation. But I wasn't, you know, when I say got into it, I used to play a game at the local what do you call it? Where you rent videos from, the video shop.
Okay, yeah, video store.
The WWF arcade game. And we never had Sky or cable, you guys would call it. We never had Sky TV when I was younger, so I couldn't watch much of it. But I did like it. But I guess now in America, if you're a fan of WWE, then when you get a bit older, you get into MMA because you realize it's real.
Yeah, this is a quote from Rousey, by the way, on why she joined the WWE. I don't think that trying to make as much money as possible every single day is the best thing for my happiness. I want to wrestle, and I want to be part of this company, and I want the people that love this sport to accept me and respect me as being a part of the sport. I know that'll take time, but I also know that I'm capable of anything, blah, 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 bullshit.
Hold on. Was she calling it a sport?
Yeah, she was calling it a sport.
All right, well, it's not a sport, is it? But it's entertainment. But we all know that. So, oh well, good for her. That's fantastic. I don't want to spend too much time dwelling on WWE because my knowledge of it is awful. Awful. It's non-existent, in fact. So yeah. So good job. Let's look at your notes again, Lewis.
Stop
let's
going
mock.
to my notes. Why are you mocking my notes now? Because I mocked.
So one UFC on Fox main event review. We've done that. Two. This is my problem, Lewis.
The fight that shall not be named.
All right, no. Number two, he's got Ariel Helwani says Bisping versus Richard.
What? I didn't say that,
words.
did I? No, I didn't say that.
You did. And my point is this, Lewis. I emailed you notes. I text you notes. I believe we may have had phone calls simply because it makes it sound like 3 points of not mentioning the Richard fight. But there isn't a Richard fight. Yes, people are reporting it, but I am not.
I didn't even write that. Maybe that was a typo. I didn't write that.
Yeah, so apparently there is a rumor going around about me and Richard. I will say this. I don't know what to say. Well, let's start with the obvious. Richard fights at 205. I fight at 185. So that doesn't even make sense.
Well, he did fight his last fight at 185, and I know he had talked about possibly moving back up to 205, but, you know, who knows?
I believe it's officially gone back up to 205.
But you don't even like cutting weight, though. But anyway, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but it's not like I was 10-0 at 15-0 at light heavyweight. I was never 15-0 at light heavyweight, and I'm not fighting Rashad Evans.
And it's not like this is the man that handed you your first very controversial split decision loss at 205 pounds.
Saying there's a storyline there.
I'm just saying there's something there. There's something there.
That I used to fight at light heavyweight, and I could return back there. You're saying that he was the first guy to hand me a controversial split decision loss that a lot of people thought I won, and that perhaps
almost everybody
getting towards the end of our careers, it would be a logical matchup in London. Huh.
Rashad Evans' own family thinks you won that fight. You ask any of the Evanses, like, yeah,
exactly. So no, it would be very unprofessional for me to what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Spill the beans. Spill the beans. Listen, there's nothing official. I can tell you that right now. Hand on heart. There's nothing official, and I may or may not be fighting again. We'll see.
Okay. I think it'd be a good fight if that was the one that you decided to do.
All right. Well, me too. Number 4, Chuck Liddell, Celebrity Big Brother. But you don't want to talk about that.
No, we can't talk about that.
7-year-old put in handcuffs. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this, Lewis.
I thought this was a good one, actually. I put it in there for a reason.
See, the way I had it in my head at the start of the show, we talk about Beyonce's kid acting a bit weird and a bit Yoda-ish. Then we say, oh, yeah, speaking of kids, did you see that kid that got arrested at school? And then from there, we go into that other one with the cop using his jiu-jitsu.
Well, can I tell you what the way that
would have been a flawless segue.
Can I give you my insight here? Yeah. I agree, because this is why I send you notes and then I go, cool, this is, these are, and if you I know you can't read this, but it says we don't have to do all of these, but I think these are interesting. And then I send you the notes, and my assumption is Michael Bisping, 15 minutes before the show, is going to send me an email back saying this is my response to this. But instead, what I get is a phone call from you screaming in a fucking British fucking when he gets angry, he gets more British. It's like, Ma, I'm gonna fucking call you when I get home in a little bit. And then I'm like, okay, I guess we're starting the show late, everyone. And then there's 7 people here going like, all right, Bisping's late again. Are you sure he wants to do Mondays? He's like, no, he says Mondays are perfect. And
Mondays are perfect.
Okay.
Mondays are very good. So there's a 7-year-old kid. I also have a 7-year-old kid called Lucas. Lucas is a very emotional child, but he's a great kid. I love him to bits. I don't know where he gets it from. It's almost like you think that his dad was emotional. So this 7-year-old kid, how old is your son, Lewis?
He just turned 5.
So, okay, not a million miles away. So you can understand this story. But this 7-year-old kid goes to school. Apparently he's playing with his food at dinner, at lunchtime, playing with his food. And the teacher comes over, tells him off, takes him to the principal's office. And the 7-year-old spazzes out, starts punching the teacher. Okay, that's it. Now, I play a game with Lucas called, come on, Lucas, do a psycho attack. And he hits me as hard as he can all the time. Kicks, punches, everything. And he does not hurt me in the slightest. Okay, fair enough, I'm a professional mixed martial artist. But he's also the son of a professional mixed martial artist that gets lessons. Getting hit of a 7-year-old does not fucking hurt. It's as simple as that. So then this this teacher doesn't call the parents, calls the police. Calls the police on a 7-year-old child, has the child arrested and then put in handcuffs and taken to the police station.
Yeah, very traumatizing for the kid, which isn't the way you handle it. There's a lot of factors. Here's the truth, right?
Where do you stand on this? Where do you stand?
There's 2 things here. Number 1, if the kid is violently attacking a teacher, it's coming from some other shit. So the fact that the parents are furious about their kid being put in handcuffs and the way the school handled it, I understand being upset, but you got to look in the mirror if you're the parents of the kid that's violently attacking a teacher and figuring out where that's coming from, because it's not coming from fucking the teacher being a fucking asshole. That's coming from some other shit, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I'm assuming they beat the shit out of this kid, or this kid has experienced some sort of violence in another way. You have to assume. I don't know.
Or maybe he has, maybe, and I'm just assuming, perhaps he has emotional problems, or perhaps he has, maybe he can speak to a psychiatrist or something. Maybe he has a problem dealing with his emotions, or not just a bad temper. Maybe he's a little bit on the spectrum. Who knows?
Or maybe
there's all kinds of problems.
Maybe that teacher needs to learn how to keep her fucking mouth shut.
maybe maybe the kid's a fucking asshole, okay? Maybe the kids, that can happen. But I think for a teacher, and let's be honest, a teacher's supposed to try and help children, set them up for life. Of course, you got to educate them, but also try and teach them life lessons. I think the teacher calling the cops, and the cop then putting a 7-year-old kid in handcuffs. I mean, all right, I guess you could argue that the kid won't do that again, but I still got to think it's pretty traumatizing for a 7-year-old. You could argue that take it to the station.
You could argue that would set up the kid to do that over and over and over and over again, because you're putting them in handcuffs, exposing them to that type of thing, desensitizing to them something like that, really that young. I think that's pretty fucking traumatizing. And I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this: if you got a phone call, so James, right? Your son's called James.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a phone call. James has had a temper tantrum, which is what we're talking about here. James has had a temper tantrum at school. He's hit a teacher, which is shocking behavior, and he's been arrested and put in handcuffs and taken to the police station. Your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, as a parent, like, having the idea of my son being put in handcuffs would be pretty